You're watching CCN, Clarksville Community Network. Produced by Goodwin Productions. Powered by CDE Lightband.
I think it's a good measuring stick for both of us, so we're really excited to kind of welcome Rossview. It's our homecoming night as well.
It's really a great atmosphere, and the teams are battling to win the game, and the strategies involved. That's what's really fun.
It's kind of what high school football is all about. Just to compete, just to overcome adversity, just to be able to battle. We're going to try to make the most of it. Both teams are, I think, really excited about this game. Especially just kind of after last season where we probably didn't have the season that we wanted. Going up against a really well-coached Rossview team, we're really excited to see what they're going to throw at our kids and how our kids are going to handle that adversity. So I started teaching there in 2012, and I was there for 3 years. And then I left and went to another school in the city. Then I came back 2 years ago and took over as the defensive coordinator and then got promoted as the head coach this year.
Westcreek coach Rob Gallowitz has done a great job over there. It's his first year there. We see a lot of improvement in the kids.
Westcreek is a very well-coached team as well. They have a lot of athletes with a lot of speed. Once they figure it out, they're going to be all right. They're going to head in the right direction. Hope we're always able to make one more play than they are.
Coach Gallowitz played at Northeast. Now he was an assistant on Isaac's staff at Clarksville High, now in his first year at Westcreek. That is a tough coaching position. You may not see it in the win-loss record, but what Westcreek has accomplished this season is one of the better stories of this football season. They're a 6A football team, but when you look at Westcreek, they look like a 3A football team. And what I mean by that, they have never had any size. Now, they have had incredible athletes. C.J. Board's a name that just immediately jumps to my attention when I think about the athletes that have come through that Westcreek football program. But they've never had the size of a 5A or 6A football team. They have a lot of track athletes. They've had some really good basketball teams over the years. Of course, they've made one state tournament appearance over there, but they just have never had that offensive line, that defensive line, never had that physical presence. And I see what he's accomplishing already, but what I've always thought is interesting is how quickly do players buy into a system? You know, when do they start believing in that first-year coach? And in the couple games that I've seen with Westcreek this season, I've seen that.
Our kids have been working just as hard, so to see what they can put out onto the field and kind of make things happen for our team. And so we're really excited to kind of welcome Rossview. It's our homecoming night as well, so that adds another layer of fun for the kids. Right now they're out running around with powder puff football. We had like a carnival last night with a bonfire and things of that nature. So just it being homecoming, it's kind of what high school football is all about. Just the kids really enjoying the week, trying to keep them focused on Rossview and kind of seeing what we put out there. So. They're a region opponent, so this week has a little extra meaning to it. We are 0-1 in the region. We lost to Gallatin, so this is going to be a game that will allow us to have an opportunity to play in the playoffs. Rossview's a really well-coached team. Okay, we've played some teams, well-coached. Like, can we do it again against a team that's going to either help us get into the playoffs or keep us out of the playoffs? an opportunity for our kids to, again, go out there and compete. Be able to show the city that, like, Westcreek's not the doormat anymore.
Really feeling good about my coaching staff this year, and really got a good group of seniors. You know, last year didn't go like we wanted it to, so hopefully you learn from that as a staff and as a group, as a team. You know, the players need to learn from what works and what doesn't work, and your attitude, your work ethic. So we worked really hard in the off season.
He's a great guy. Working with him like in his philosophy, and he's able to receive input and as well as put input out. And you know, most organizations are not like that. They got one, they put something out and you're gonna follow it and that's it. But he's able to receive as well as to give out feedback. And so when it comes down to game planning and making an adjustment even throughout the game.
If you've looked and you've watched Westcreek football in the past, if they got scored on early or something didn't go their way, they were arguing, they were putting their heads down, and you could just read the body language of the team of, hey, like, this game's well over before the clock strikes zero. I think this year you're seeing a team that's a little bit more resilient. They're fighting back when things don't go their way. They're not giving up in the ball game. They're showing you, you're gonna have to beat us, like, all 4 quarters. It's not gonna be a one-hit wonder where you just knock us out and we're giving up. So I think that's been the most impressive thing, in my opinion. The feedback that I've got from stakeholders is you can tell by the body language of the team. You can tell by the way they play. You can tell by their effort that they really do maximize their abilities, and they're in there fighting their tails off, and they're battling all 4 quarters. And that's really all you want. You want to just be able to have a chance to win in the 4th quarter, and we've done that in every single game we've played in.
The season's a grind. You know, it's a long season for coaches, for players, and for everybody. Keeping your body, you know, nutrition and in shape, and keeping yourself tuned up is very important for us. You know, as coaches too, I mean, it's a grind for us. We put in 80-hour plus weeks. Kids are there 12 hours a day. You know, I try to tell our kids, and I think sometimes parents understand this, but sometimes we forget that kids get to school about 7, and sometimes they don't get home until 6:30 or 7. And that's a long grind on kids. It's a long day for them mentally, physically.
It starts in the film. You have to study your opponent. You gotta know what your opponent's strengths and weaknesses, and then you gotta know your own personnel. What are their strengths and their weaknesses? Then we go create a scout report for them. So like, hey, this is the other tendencies the team does, and this is how we're gonna counteract that. But it all starts with your heart. If you don't have a heart and a passion to do this thing, and this is what we call football, step away from it, because you could be a more hinder to the sport than you can be a help to it. Because if you go out there, that's how you get injured. You don't go out there giving 100% each play, either good or bad. Just go out there full speed. And so we try to tell the players, hey, whatever you do it full speed. Know your assignment, do your assignment, and then the scoreboard will take care of itself. I use the word why. Play for your why. If you don't have a why for why you're doing something, then you're not gonna do it. You're just gonna go through the motions, and that most of the time you just gonna fall into anxiety, depression, or you're gonna basically pulling back. And we don't want that. We want everything you have.
I think early in the season, he's learning to use more of his arm. You know, the game has slowed down for him. I think anytime you put a quarterback in that situation, a young quarterback, that the game is really fast. Well, it's slowed down for him. And now he's found his legs. Against Westcreek, he had a couple big runs where he broke some pressure situations, got some first downs, moved the chains for us, got us in field goal position. So I think that was really big for him. He's learning to run the ball a little bit. I think any coach will tell you, if you got a quarterback that can throw but also run, and evade the rush or make some plays with your legs, that's really big for our team, and he's done a good job with that.
Anytime you can get a sophomore quarterback get a lot of playing experience, when they're a junior and a senior and they've got control of that offense, that is such an asset.
Well, I think Dustin Chavis at our line position, right tackle, has done a great job. He's a 4-year senior. You know, we call them pancake blocks, you know, where they're smashing the guys, you know, and getting on top of them. So that's something, he really does a good job with that, and the guys have rallied around him. He's done a phenomenal job on both sides of the ball for us.
Our quarterback is Caden Pace. He really kind of makes magic happen sometimes. Last week we called a play and he kind of made a last-minute decision and ended up scoring the touchdown that kind of sealed that win against Kenwood last week. So he's a really special player. He's a multi-sport athlete, so he plays, you know, all the sports in school. He does a really good job for us, so it's going to suck not having him next year. Gabe Shields is another one. He plays a little bit of corner and he plays slot receiver. We have kind of some young guys, Jay-Sean Owsley. He's a junior back. He's hands down one of the most aggressive kids on the field. He also plays outside linebacker. He's just a really fun kid to watch because the amount of effort he gives on every single play is absolutely incredible. It's really fun to watch him, especially when he runs the ball. He's downhill, he's aggressive. You know, there's times at practice I get in his way. I'm like, ooh, like that was almost the ending for me. He's a good kid, and so we're really excited to kind of see, you know, how he finishes out the season as well. Then we have Montel Richardson. He's our running back. He's a big physical back. He's a track athlete, so if we can just get him into space, he'll take off on people. So he's a really special player to watch. And then we also have just tons of athletes. That's really kind of what I think Westcreek's known for, is we always have the skill players. You know, we're trying to do some things on the offensive line to kind of make up for our lack of size. And we got some really good pieces there that are young. We have Carden Smith, that's a junior, that we're gonna get back next year. And then we have Daniel Ramirez as our center, and we'll get him back next year. So we do have some pieces where we're excited about the future, but right now we have a really talented team and we're gonna try to make the most of it.
I'm starting to see, just my observation from the outside, is I've seen these players starting to buy into what he's wanting to accomplish there. I think that if he can get some of these big kids out of the hallways, get them during the off season, get them to a weight program and conditioning, if they can build a physical presence, I think we could finally see Westcreek kind of really starting to play a lot of competitive football.
So Westcreek is the newest of the high schools. The best thing about Westcreek is we get to kind of shape it how we want. They've had very limited success in the years past, and so it's kind of an opportunity for us to put our own kind of thumbprint on it and kind of make it into what we want. It's a really exciting kind of rebuild for us. There's a lot of excitement around the program, I think, right now. The kids are seeing that the hard work that they've put in the summer and the spring is really starting to pay off. We're just, again, looking to just find those little wins throughout the season, and hopefully that the win column has more wins in it than the losses. I think one of the biggest challenges we have is we have a heavy military population, and so one year you may have a player that you're really excited about, and then he's moving off to Kansas or he's moving off to another military base. So that makes things a little difficult, but in terms of just having really good kids, you're always gonna have kids that usually are well behaved. You're gonna have kids that come with that military discipline, which is nice. And then also our JROTC program's massive. They do an incredible job over there as well, so I think we have one of the best JROTC programs in the city.
Being around a military installation and being off, what we call off post, it's like night and day. You can tell kids who have military parents and who don't.
Our biggest challenge is just kind of creating our own traditions. I think when your school hasn't been around, as long as some of these other high schools have, it's fun to kind of create your own tradition. But then there is the kind of challenge of getting the student body behind it and kind of buying into it, but we're on the right track so far. Being a first-year head coach, we've dealt with a ton of challenges just in our first four games. We've battled adversity like we try to teach the kids, and I think we're 2-2 right now, so I'm excited to see where this team's gonna go. I think when I took over, the game plan was to basically get input from stakeholders. I got a survey from the players. What did you want to see? What are some things that you liked? What are some things that you didn't like? And I really wanted to get their feedback. And then I talked to community members. What is your opinion of Westcreek? Why is your opinion that? What are some areas that you would like to see out of the team? Everybody wants to win. So that was the big, I think, kind of point that everybody's like, well, this program hasn't had a whole lot of success. What are things that we can do now to maybe get that buy-in from the parents, from the players, from the admin, from other people in the area, and kind of get excited about Westcreek? And so I think that was our first goal. I was trying to hire people that had the same vision as me. We ended up being able to hire 8 coaches that were inside the building. And that's a really, really important aspect, I think, when you're trying to build a program, because every time an athlete takes a corner, there's a coach that's looking back at them and saying, hey, how are the grades looking? See you practice today. Checking them as they go on. That was our first goal. And then the second goal was to really kind of build excitement around the program. We hosted a combine similar to the NFL combine, and we did it around the same kind of time period to kind of that's when people really start getting excited about, the hope that their team is gonna have. And then we took the kids to camp at Bethel University, which again, I think was just building the excitement, kind of building that team chemistry that we needed.
But we're gonna have fun as a unit. We have like a lot of defensive line bonding occasion. I tell the guys, hey guys, see how fun it is to go bowling together or eat together, but it's even better is when you win together.
We're not just individuals on this team, we're a family.
Some games you get in where you really can't coach, if that makes sense. And there's other games that you get in that actually coaching, you get to make decisions, and you get to go for it, or you're onside kick it, or you're throwing a halfback pass. What play you called, you go for it on 4th down. So those are the really fun games that you really enjoy coaching when you're in it and you're involved. It's really a great atmosphere, and the teams are battling to win the game, and the strategies involved. That's what's really fun to be involved in coaching, and fun to play in those type games.
You make those halftime adjustments, you kind of walk through some things that the other team is doing really well, and you try to fix those mistakes on the fly. Then I think you just have to give them encouragement. You have to let them know you are good athletes too. You've been coached well too. This game is far from over. They've scored that many points and we've made these certain stops. We can do it again. We can score our own points.
They did a good job at hitting us in a few spots. It's sort of funny because they hit like a smoke screen, you might say, and they took it like 60. I don't think anybody touched the kid. Well, right before half, we threw basically the same play. Nobody touches JT Sims. He goes like 60 yards, and that was big into turning that game back around for us. They do such a good job. The second half was a battle, and Chance Seiler is a phenomenal kicker for us. I think he made a couple field goals that really put us up a little bit, and we sort of held on for the rest of the game, but it was really a good battle, great atmosphere. They had a good crowd. I think it might have been their homecoming. We had a good crowd being an in-city game, so it was really an enjoyable game for both teams.
Each opponent's unbeatable because they put their pads on the same way we put our pads on. They train the same way we train. They on a practice schedule, we're on a practice schedule. However, it's how you show up, how you prepare. And I think we prepared well that week. Play that play like it's your last play. All those things happen, then we don't have to worry about the scoreboard. And then, especially when you're down, it's like, hey guys, that's be part of this adversity we talk about the whole entire summer. It's like, guys, fight. When you're in a fight, you're not gonna always be on top. Sometimes you might get pinned down. Is what you do when you get pinned down. How are you gonna respond? Are you gonna, when your back against the wall, you're gonna sit there and turn around and let them beat on you, or you're gonna stand up, put your chest up and fight? And we had a lot of more fighting us in the second half.
Years ago, we showed our kids third down situations of college teams. Why are they putting this set in? Why is it fourth down? What are they doing in this situation? So we're actually coaching situations, and I would go back and show them old game film, and I would show them situational type things. I think we've done a better job with that. That was another game where you get to enjoy coaching. You know, you got to make a stop on defense. You know, you got to get a sack, and you know, we had a kid that went down with an injury. Well, that stopped the clock for them. All those little intangibles. It was really a great atmosphere and a fun game.
Losing sucks, everyone knows that. But it's something that joy and that excitement and that feeling when you win a game. And knowing that you're hard, you're practicing in the heat, and you're working out 2 or 3 times a day if needed, all that running wasn't in vain. Reading that scouting report helped, or watching film helped that game. I noticed that change in the second half. I noticed this change second half. I was able to adjust this. I was that faster. I was that smarter in the second half than I was in the first. I beat myself up. I missed that tackle. However, I caught that ball, and I was able to score. And now it comes showed. We tell the guys now, win and get in. We win, we get in. They're well coached, they're able to compete, and like I say, it could have went either way that game. I'm glad it went in our favor.
I think Coach Gallowitz and what Westcreek is doing this year, again, look back, if you just pay attention to win-loss record, it's not going to jump out at you. But when you see the quality of football and what he's doing there, you can see a difference already in year one.
For current and exclusive content, subscribe to CDE Lightband, connecting you at the speed of light.